We have a great announcement for you right now. We are offering an awesome giveaway to our listeners.
That's right. What do we got for them, Shannon?
We've got some kitchen stuff to start out your new life together. We have a tea towel that says Happily Ever After. The Bride and Groom First and Forever cookbook, so you can learn how to cook together if you want. And we have some silicone spatulas that say Mr. Right and Mrs. Always Right, and one that says Happily Ever After.
The way you would enter is to go to fromringtoveil.com/giveaway 2017. So that's fromringtoveil.com/giveaway 2017. We will have a few different ways for you to enter. Please share it with your friends and good luck. You are listening to From Ring to Veil.
I'm Shannon.
And I'm Kim.
And we are your wedding planning gurus.
We take the stress out
and put the fun back into wedding planning. Parents and Weddings, episode number 144.
Welcome back to From Ring to Veil, the wedding planning podcast. We are excited to bring a couple of fun, I wouldn't say fun.
I wouldn't say fun.
Interesting, kind of mean things.
This is no way fun. So today we're talking about, I can't really say what I want to say, but mean.
Bleepity bleep bleep.
Mean parents.
Mean parents, yeah.
Well,
mean people.
And one mean bride. A very inconsiderate bride.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
But first we're talking about a very vain mother. This thing came across the internet. Of course, it went viral. And of course, we saw it and said, oh, we need to talk about that.
We have to. Can't pass that one up.
It was a question into an advice columnist. And I don't remember who the advice columnist was. So, sorry for that.
But there is a link on the show notes from ringtoveil.com/144.
It says, Mother writes offensively tone-deaf letter about her daughter's wedding and becomes an internet villain. Which is true.
Yeah. She needs her own villainous outfit.
And more like Maleficent.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's a hard word to say.
I know. And how are kids supposed to say that? I've never understood that. Well, we digress. Okay.
Yeah.
Question. Okay, so this was proposed as a question on here. Daughter's friend being in... it's a question about her daughter's friend being in a wedding. My 27-year-old daughter and her best friend Katie have been best friends since they were 4. Katie practically grew up in our house and is like a daughter to me. That's great, right? That's what happens. My daughter recently got engaged to her fiancé and announced that Katie would be the maid of honor. Katie's boyfriend is also a good friend of my future son-in-law, so that just makes sense. The problem is that Katie walks with a pretty severe limp due to a birth defect, not an underlying medical issue.
Why does that even have to matter? Anyway.
Right.
So she has no problem wearing high heels and has already been fitted for the dress, but I still think it would look unsightly if she was in the wedding procession limping ahead of my daughter. I mentioned this to my daughter and suggested that maybe Katie could take a video or hand out programs while sitting so she doesn't ruin the aesthetic aspect of the wedding. My daughter is no longer speaking to me. We were never that close anyway. But this is her big wedding and I want it to be perfect. All of the other bridesmaids will look gorgeous walking down the aisle with my daughter. Is it wrong to have her friend sit out?
I'm just sitting here in stunned silence.
I mean, this girl is like a daughter to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you say. Wouldn't you be sympathetic to that? I mean, they're best friends. They've been best friends since they were little. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but that trumps everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's...
and even if they weren't friends since they were little, even if they were just friends now, and that's who she wants at her wedding. What does it even matter?
And to say that she could take a video or hand out programs, come on.
That's the thing you give to the people that you don't want in your wedding. You know what I mean? Well, you want a real videographer, first of all. Secondly, handing out... Anyway, or a young cousin or something like that. That's this. As a mother, as a person, this offends me. Not offends me, but it embarrasses me that a mom would act like that or say something like that or think that way even.
I know. It'll ruin the aesthetic of the wedding. People are probably not even going to notice.
No.
For one thing. Oh, look, the girl walking in the aisle, she has a limp. No one's going to notice that. And especially if she has no problem walking in high heels. Come on.
I have a problem walking in high heels, and I don't have a limp. I'd probably trip and fall.
I'd trip over air, not necessarily with shoes on or shoes off. So
this is absolutely ridiculous. And yes, it is wrong to have her friend sit out. If that's her question, then yes, that is wrong. Absolutely.
Yeah. I just don't understand. I mean, I can understand why she became an internet villain because, come on, that is just horrible. And if I was your daughter, I wouldn't be speaking to you either.
That's right. And you know what? It would be a totally different thing if the girl with the limp had an issue with it and was worried about, ruining the aesthetic or tripping or whatever. That would be a totally different discussion. Mm-hmm. Than the mom just not wanting. I mean, when she says, where is it? Would it look unsightly if she's in the wedding procession limping ahead of my daughter? That just absolutely makes no sense to me. No sense.
It just baffles me. Are people really that concerned with how things look and what they perceive as normal?
Yes. The answer to that is yes. But it shouldn't be.
Right.
That's wrong, firstly. Yeah. I think.
I'm conscious of what I look like when I go out. I don't, I put makeup on because I don't want to scare people. I fix my hair sometimes. Other times it goes back into a clip. But anyway, I don't dress in yoga pants without a long t-shirt.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, I try to present my best self, but I'm not going to go like, oh my God, I got crow's feet and black, dark circles under my eyes. I got to go get those fixed because I can't show my face outside. I'm 45 years old.
Let me tell you what.
Have crow feet.
Let me tell you what. The reason that happens is because of people like this woman.
Yeah.
They are so the way that she is that it ruins other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like that. That's what I mean. I'm conscious about what I look like when I go out, especially with my girlfriends or going out on a night,
But you're not like this lady.
Well, no. I'm saying, but it's because of people looking at me and judging me that I go out with makeup on and my hair fixed and conscious of what I'm wearing. My husband, we go out to eat. He's in a stupid superhero t-shirt and jorts. And I'm sitting here, I got a dress on and maybe some sandals and my hair's fixed and I have makeup on and I'm looking at him and I'm looking at me and I go, is there a disconnect here?
We don't match. But
we're not going
to call him out and make him feel bad for that at the restaurant or.
I might make him go change his shirt. Can you go put a polo shirt on?
But if he had a limp, would you not go out anywhere with him? You know what I mean? Or not let him walk in front of you with a limp? It's just, it's absurd. It's absurd.
I walk with the limp most of the time anyway.
So let's just put this out there. If you're a mom listening to this, don't think this way. This is just,
this is vanity.
No, it's not. It's not going to ruin the aesthetic. Come on.
Yeah.
First of all, something is going wrong at every wedding, period. And it's not going to be because somebody has a limp.
Right.
The music's not going to start. The cake's
going to fall over.
Yeah. There's so many things that can go wrong, and it'll be a remembrance that you'll laugh about later on. But it's not going to have anything to do with somebody limping.
Or
I'll tell you that.
Like that. This just baffles me. So that's our opinion.
There you go. I'm forever going to be shaking my head at this one.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't judge people. That's my thing, because I try my hardest not to judge people because I know what it feels like to be judged myself. Mm-hmm. So I try not to judge people, and I try to, who knows what they're going through anyway, especially because she's probably thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have to walk down the aisle. I have a limp. I'm going to fall, or, something like that. So, I mean, she has her own insecurities about this anyway. And then her best friend's mother is, could you imagine if she found this article somewhere and read, because I know she's probably seen it by now.
I mean,
it's been everywhere.
Yeah, she definitely could have. If she's listening to this, we're sorry about that. That's utterly ridiculous. Unacceptable behavior, I think.
No.
All right, let's be done with that one. It's making me mad now. Okay, happy place. All right. The next one we found has to do with the bride and her sort of stepfather.
Right. And this has been around for a while.
But it's on the same level, right?
Right. Except it's reverse, kind of, because it's the bride. The name of the article was Father Pays for Stepdaughter's Wedding, Then Bride Reveals Something That Breaks His Heart.
So that was kind of misleading a little bit.
Right.
But, all right, so it's a pretty long one, so what I did was went and highlighted some things.
His so-called stepdaughter, not really a stepdaughter, because her mother and him aren't married, but they've been together for 10 years, and he's been kind of the authority figure over this relationship. He's paid for everything.
College, car.
Right. And her real father, her birth father, has been a deadbeat. He hasn't been around, not in her life at all. Hasn't contributed to anything. Child support, nothing. Okay? So he's paying for this wedding.
The stepfather.
And all of a sudden, she says, oh, I've got back in touch with my real father. I want him to walk me down the aisle.
Mm-hmm. And he gives them, out of 250 people, he gives them a list of 20 people that he would like to be invited. And he finds out from his friends that they were not invited. They got an announcement, but not an invitation. And he takes it to his girlfriend and her daughter, the bride, and says, what's up? And they said, well, we didn't have enough room. It's a tight wedding for 250 people. There's tight wedding. If somebody declines or doesn't or RSVPs no or whatever, then we'll try to squeeze some of your people in. Yeah. And he's paying for everything, every single thing.
And it's like a $40,000 to $50,000 wedding. Okay. So they're having Sunday dinner with all the family, like a pre-wedding, get together or something like that. And so the bride announces that her real dad is going to walk her down the aisle. And you've got to realize they've changed the announcements, saying that her real dad and her mother are giving her away, things like that.
And they took the stepdad's name off of it. Didn't even mention him. So he was angry and felt disrespected. And so he got up to make a toast, which I applaud him for this. Mm-hmm. It says, "It has been my great pleasure to be a part of this family for the past 10 years. At this point in my life, I feel I owe a debt of gratitude to the bride and groom because they have opened my eyes to something very important. They have showed me that my position in this family is not what I once thought it was. Though I once thought of myself as the patriarch or godfather of the family, commanding great respect and sought out for help in times of need, it seems that instead I hold my position of an ATM, good for a stream of money, but not much else. As I have been replaced as host both on the invitations and in the ceremony, I am resigning my financial duties as host to my successor, the real dad. So cheers to the happy couple and the path they have chosen." He finishes his drink and he told him to get the heck out, basically. Let yourself out. Mm-hmm. And then he's asking, is this selfish? Am I supposed to shell out all this money for somebody who can't even invite the people he wants there and, give him any kind of credit? I mean, there's two different ways you could go. He could sit back quietly, pay for everything, let it go. Or he could do what he did and stand up for himself and say, if this is what you want, here you go.
Right. And he called the next day to all of the vendors and got most of his deposits back, except for like one or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then he cleared out his joint bank account of all of his money because they had a joint bank. He had a joint bank account with the bride's mother. Apparently, the bride's mother was trying to write a big, huge amount of check onto this account that he already cleaned out, and necessarily she didn't get the money.
Right. Good on him for thinking ahead, right?
Right.
This is just really unfortunate. Okay, so if you put yourself in, we're only getting one side, but if you put yourself into the bride's shoes, this is her she has a real dad. She wants him in her life, and probably wants him to be there. And that's totally understandable. But she just, it seems like she totally disrespected and didn't even think of this guy at all. And didn't consider his feelings, didn't talk to him about it. You know what I mean? There's a much better way of going about this.
Right. And he's paid for everything for the last 10 years. He paid for her college. So she's probably around 24, 25 years old if she's through with college right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a debt of gratitude that needs to be paid there. And if he's been around and taken care of her and supported her throughout her teenage years, basically, and through her early adulthood, that was just wrong.
That is wrong.
Because, I mean, if you haven't seen your dad in 25 years, what kind of relationship do you have that you want him to walk you down the aisle?
Right. Right. Well, she apparently still wants him in her life. And
I mean,
that's okay.
I can understand that. But to just disregard her pseudo stepfather and then that is just inconsiderate to me.
Yeah.
So we would really love your opinions on these two things.
Yes, we would. What do you think about this? I mean, I can see where it would really devastate him, especially if she's been like a daughter to him. Right. I can't imagine that. That.
Were they just there for the money, you know?
Could be. I mean, and again, we're only getting his side, but it sounds like it. Mm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And okay, what else does he say here?
It just gives like an update. Yeah. It says the bride and her mother moved out and they moved in with the crew.
Here you're trouble now. Well, I mean, like, where's the dad? Where's the real dad?
Right. And he says he doesn't know what happened about the wedding. He's like, he doesn't really want to know. He heard that they were scaling things back, but, you know.
Well, I guess they have to, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's no problem of his now. And he says, if I hear something, I'll give an update. But other than that, I'm done.
I can totally understand that. I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah, I do too.
I just want to give him a hug and be like, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
so we have a feel good story now because I mean,
we need something to bring us back up,
right? And so I think this happened over the weekend.
I think so too. Well, I mean, that's when it came out anyway.
Yeah, it came out today.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
It doesn't matter. People are listening to this 2 years from now, so it doesn't matter. But it's a Canadian man, so this really makes sense.
Yes, because we all know Canadians are friendly and, you know, special.
He was taking photos during a wedding shoot, and he stepped in and rescued a little boy from drowning.
So they were near a pond or a lake or something, and all of a sudden he saw this little boy fall into the water, and he was struggling to try to get out. And he was in his suit, his wedding suit. He had his flowers on. His hair was done, everything. Because they were taking shots of the groom and I guess the groomsmen before the wedding. So he just jumped in and saved the child. He says his face was under the water. He was fighting, like really fighting. And I was the only one there to help him. So, so he jumped in.
Don't we love to see these kind of things that happen?
And of course, the wedding photographer, you know, took the pictures. So.
Yeah, of course. If you're a photographer, you're not going to jump in. You're just going to
take the pictures.
No, I'm certain something he would have, if it were a different situation. But yeah, I just like hearing these kind of things. That's like, okay, there are still good people out there.
Right.
After hearing about the mom and then
the bride, the stepdad. Anyway, so his name was Clayton Cook, and he jumped in nearly waist-high water to pull the boy onto dry land. Because apparently they were playing around, and these two other kids pushed him in the water.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And where's the parents?
I don't know.
That's one thing I'm wondering. Where's the parents?
So, I mean, he had to have his wedding, and he was in a wetsuit through the wedding.
Hey, you do what you have to, right? And, how good would it be if everybody acted like this, And, I'm not getting in there. It's my wedding.
Yeah, I know, but we've seen other stories like this. Like the bride was driving to her wedding, and she was a nurse, and there was a horrible car accident on the freeway, and she got out and she helped them in her wedding dress. And we've read articles like this before, but I just think it was sweet. After the two horrible sections of this podcast, we needed something good to talk about.
Hey, we gotta pass the news on too, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, Clayton Cook, we commend you.
Yes.
You're a good
congratulations.
Sport. And yes, and may you have many blessings in your wedding. Or your marriage, sorry.
In your marriage, yeah. Hopefully the wedding day went well. I mean, that would be a good follow-up to find out how that went.
I think it did. Of course, there's a video, but I don't know how far the video goes. But we'll have the link on our site, and you can check it all out. And wish Clayton many, many blessings on his marriage. So
yes, do that. That will be at fromringtoveil.com/144. All the show notes will be there, all the links. Please send us messages, comment, either Facebook, wherever. Let us know what you think about any or all of these. We would love to read your comments. We really enjoy getting feedback from you guys, especially when you tell us you've listened to a show and you have something to say.
We love listener questions too. So if you have any kind of question, any wedding planning question, we'll try to help you out, and your question will be on the show because we strive to put all of them on the show.
And you can do that. You can reach us at info@fromringtoveil.com or Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, YouTube, wherever.
Yeah, we're everywhere. We're everywhere.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. That is the one sure way that you will know when a new show comes out, because it will show up in your player every week. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube. Every Friday, we post our show on Facebook, so you can listen to it right there. But subscribe. Subscribing is the best way to do it.
So until next time, no stress, no worries, keep calm and listen on.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. You can find us on Facebook, From Ring to Veil, on Twitter, @From Ring to Veil, and on our website, FromRingToVeil.com.
Music provided by bensound.com.